What is good, YouTube? Quinway basketball analysis coming to y'all with a quick video. We're going to talk about what to expect from Trae Young and the Atlanta Hawks. I'm also holding down analysisplayground.com when I'm bringing y'all this video on YouTube and other platforms. And this team is one of the most interesting teams in the league just because a lot of us seen them as a playoff team with all the talent that they was able to acquire last season in free agency and then bringing it into this year, plus the coaching change going into Nate McMillan really rose this team up to being one of the better teams at the end of the season and was able to get them a top 5 seed in the Eastern Conference and even got them all the way to obviously the Eastern Conference Finals, where nobody's seen them beating the number one Sixers or even giving some competition to the Bucks because they won 2 games out of 6. And that was something that we never seen. We never looked at them as a legitimate contender. We never looked at them as a team that can get to a conference final, especially after beating Philly the way that they did, because it was an upset fashion. Plus, they were able to come back and still beat them. They were still able to be done. But at the end of the day, they ended up not getting to the finals, and now they have to start all the way over. And we're going to talk about what to expect from them coming into this season with Nate McMillan as their coach for the entire season, hopefully, and what he brings to the table and the talent that they have going into this season. Now, a lot of things are interesting. We've seen guys like Deandre Hunter miss significant time. Same with Cam Reddish, not really having a role or never really improving. Showed some signs in the playoffs, but not enough for us to really gauge what he is in this league at this point. Same with DeAndre Hunter. Still not a great defender or a great scorer at this point, but they still have upside and still are young. But they also have guys that are at their position that are better and more ready for them now, but don't have the upside that they have, but are already players that fit what they're trying to do and they really fit what they do on both ends of the court. We're going to start with Delon Wright, a guy that they brought in. You look at his salary, you might think he's a little overpaid. I don't really think he's going to get significant playing time, but I do think he's going to be a part of what they do and going to be getting at least 20 minutes. And I think that he can give them some scoring, some shot making. I think that's what he been able to do in his career, and I think them adding him was out of nowhere. We didn't really see him being added. We didn't really see him until the last minute. But adding depth to a guy that can be a combo guard too gives them something that they have. But also we'll see what they're able to do with him in this system. We also look at a Kongu, a guy that we knew could be a lottery pick, and he ended up being it. But we also didn't really see him being a significant player on this team just because his defense and his scoring was at rookie levels. And that means he really wasn't prepared to contribute to this team. Plus, they already have a lot of bigs and a lot of guys that just will eat up those minutes. So I still see that happening this year. I don't see him being a significant player on his team, but a guy that if somebody gets injured or somebody can't play, he can still come in and give you 15 to 20 minutes at the max and still give you solid impact, and that's all you're really asking for him. You also look at Jalen Johnson. He's a guy that really showed out in summer league, but ultimately I don't really see him getting significant playing time at the NBA level just because he is a rookie. He has questions about his motor, not really known as a great defender either, even though he put a lot of effort and energy. Maybe what he went through in college motivated him to really show out in summer league. He is a guy that gives his team some uniqueness, playmaking, size, can play and guard multiple positions, give you rebounding and transition ability, something that they lack, something that is good to have, but I don't really see him being a major player on this team as a rookie, but can be a guy that can help them win and steal games throughout the season, and we'll just see what he becomes in the future for them. DeAndre Hunter is a huge part of what they was trying to do, trying to get a guy that can be a 3-and-D guy, a guy that can give you three-point shooting, shot creation ability in the future. Hasn't been able to be a consistent three-point shooter or elite at it. Hasn't been able to be a consistent shot creator either, off the dribble or off the catch. We'll see if he can develop those things. But he also hasn't been a great defender. We felt like he would be one in the league. He hasn't been one yet. But as he continues to grow, as they continue to stay with him, we've seen a lot of guys improve defensively, whether it's schematically or just having better talent around them or just learning the game slowly and just eventually peaking at a point. Maybe that happens with DeAndre Hunter, but he's going to need to do that for this team if he wants to be a starter and a mainstay with this team. Kevin Huerter has been huge for this team. They're looking to give him an extension. This guy can really blaze the net from from the three-point line, gives them a lot of spacing, showed the ability to do other things on the court offensively, which allows them to use him in multiple lineups and use him in multiple ways. The more you can do, especially offensively, the more potent and unpredictable your offense is, and Herder gives them that, especially because he is a guy that can be a knockdown three-point shooter, as he has shown, and that's why he's still important to this team, and he's going to need to continue to do that. Solomon Hill, I told y'all last year, he was just a depth piece and a rotation player. I still don't see him getting a significant burn or time on this team still, but if somebody goes down, somebody gets injured, at least he can come in and still give you minutes, and that's what he did last year, and I can see him being in that role again. Danilo Gallinari, I didn't really like what he did ultimately just because he's just a stretch four. I don't really see him as a huge part of their future, but he was a guy that helped them win now and get into the playoff and be dangerous because of his spacing ability and ability to put the ball on the floor and be a solid rebounder at his position. But by him being injured or inconsistent offensively and not being a great defender, I don't really see him being a lock for this team in the next couple years. And he already helped them achieve their goal by getting to the conference finals. I think they let him play out this season, and I think he'll be gone, but he still is a huge piece for this team, and he showed that last year. Gorgie gives them a spacing five, something that they really lacked, a guy that was mobile, athletic, and can really protect the rim. They had that a couple years ago, but they lost it, and now they have it again with Gorgie. I wonder if he can continue to hit the mid-range and the threes. If he can be a switchable slash good center for them in short spot minutes, but it just gives them a different look, and I think that that's always important to have. Sharif Cooper, we don't really know what role he's going to have. I think they're loaded with guards, and we already know Trae Young going to play the bulk of the minutes, so I don't really see Sharif Cooper getting a lot of time or a lot of chances to prove himself on this particular team, but he pretty much knew that, but he just gives them another guy that can torch defenses if he's probing and attacking like he did in college and summer league. But his jump shot really will depend, especially his scoring ability. Will he be able to get to the basket? Will he be able to finish? Will he be able to shoot shots? That will determine if he stays on this roster and he has an NBA career, and that's something we will have to see. Same with John Collins. He finally got paid. He deserved his money. This guy can really rebound. This guy can knock down mid-range. This guy can really post up. Never really been known as a great defender, but he is a perfect fit alongside Trae Young offensively, especially because he showed the ability to knock down threes too. If he can continue to be a three-point threat, plus be a guy that can punish guys if they go small by posting them up or just attacking them, and being a solid free throw shooter and rebounder, he can just be what he is, and the team will be fine. It's just going to be hard for this team to be a championship team if that's their primary duo and that's the bread and butter that they rely on. But they're still going to be dangerous with him and Trae Young in the pick and roll and him in the paint and Trae Young at the perimeter. Clint Capela also has been a huge addition to this team. A guy that doesn't need plays called. He's going to set screens. He's going to play hard. He's going to protect the rim. He's going to guard to the post. Got torched by guys like Embiid, but he still is better than what they had before at the center position. Plus, he's a guy that doesn't whine and complain. He just goes out there and compete. You need guys like that. They prioritize him by trading for him, and then they brought him back on a little small extension. But he basically is a serviceable center that has become one of the better ones at his role, and he has been taken care of by this team. And then you have Bogdanovich, has been a huge addition to this team, giving them a playmaker, a shot creator that can hit from mid-range, hit from three, and also can play off the ball and on the ball too. This really gives them another dynamic offensively that they couldn't really get out of Cam Reddish and Hunter at this point in their careers, and just a little bit more dynamic than a guy like Herder. And that's why I have love for Bogdanovich, just because he gave them something that they was waiting to get from them, and we'll see if they're able to reach that level. If not, Bogdanovich will still be there, and they can just utilize him. And then at the end of the day, we just go to the main thing. Lou Williams has been a guy that's been in this league that can score, get his own shot, can play in the pick and roll, can be a solid playmaker when needed. And then we go to Trae Young, the MVP, the heart, the soul, the heartbeat of the team, can really pick apart defenses, can really attack, can hit from three, hit floater, hit mid-range, put defense in tough situations because they have to pay attention to what he does. And if they make a mistake, he's just going to find a shooter. He's going to find a lob. He's going to find a way to put the ball in the basket. Efficiency was the biggest question about Trae Young. Will he be fast enough? Will he be able to score enough at the NBA level? He pretty much proved that he can the last 2 years, even his rookie year. You can make an argument. Still has growth and improvements. We know he's not going to be a great defender. It's always hard to win a championship when your two best players aren't great defenders. But McMillan found a way to make it work. He found a way to make them respectable. He found a way to make them more tougher to defend when it comes to pick and roll and putting the right talent around him and find a way to get the best out of the entire team. And Trae Young is just the master of knowing where to be, knowing how to get guys open, and knowing how to get to his spots and just knock them down. And as long as he continues to do that, this team will continue to be a playoff team if they continue to stay healthy. That was one of the biggest problems with them last year. Had a lot of guys in and out, had a lot of rotation problems, had a coaching problem at first before they switched to Nate McMillan. Once everybody got healthy, once everybody started playing better and knowing their roles and what they were supposed to do and getting their minutes and the lineups they were going to be in, this team really started hitting itself and become one of the better teams in the league. I don't see that changing this year. I still look at this team that can be dangerous. I still look at this team as a team that can really be top 5 in the East again. The question will be, can they be a championship team, especially with Trae Young and John Collins being their duo? I still question that, as John Collins hasn't been at an all-star level. If they win enough games, I can see him getting it, but I also don't see them being elite enough as a duo to really beat the elite teams in the Eastern Conference, especially because they're not as great defensively, and they still do have some stylistic problems that they have built in to how they build their roster and the talent that they have around Trae Young and Collins and them as a duo themselves. But until they figure out that third guy, until they get that third guy or two, one of those guys, Hunter or Reddish, develop into a better shot maker plus a switchable defender, they're going to continue to have that problem, or they just going to have to find somebody by trading these guys and finding that third guy that fits well with John Collins, Trae Young, and Clint Capela, and then try to go all in for a title. But if they don't do that, they're going to be another great team in the league. They're going to be another dangerous team to watch out for. But ultimately, I don't see them being a championship team. Playoff team, definitely can get out of the first round. I definitely can see them getting back to the conference finals, but I don't see them as a team that can win it all. They have an interesting team. They still have room for growth, still have room for improvement. Still will be fun to see them healthy and being able to play together from the start to the finish, unlike we seen last year. But this team knows who they are. They know how to play. They know what works. They will know what doesn't work, and they know what they're trying to do on the court. And that's always an advantage when the season starts, and that's always an advantage when you're in the playoffs. And that's something that they have now, and that's something that can really be strong for them. And that's why I can see them at the top of the East again this year. And I didn't see it last year, but I also didn't see things like what they ended up doing happening. And then I had to give them their credit when it was due, and that's what they'll be doing this year. But they won't be a surprise team. They won't catch us off guard like they did last year. We know what they are. We know what they're trying to do, and we know how dangerous they are now. Now it's just about, can they take that next level and win the title in Atlanta? That's what they're trying to aim for. That's the ultimate goal. We'll see how close they get to it, or if they can do it this year. Other than that, Quinn Wade, basketball analysis, signing out, and I'll be coming to y'all with another video tomorrow. Enjoy the rest of y'all day, and see y'all later.